Back to the channel. Today we're going to unravel some incredibly complex events in Genoa. Rumors are circulating around the Newman family, but what's the truth? In this video, I'll summarize the plot points that will be revealed in the next episode. Stay tuned to see what happens. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today is Tuesday, a beautiful day outside, but honestly, I haven't seen the sun in hours because I've been glued to my screen trying to make sense of this Genoa City madness. I'm exhausted, you're exhausted, but we need to talk about the Abbotts right now because things just went from bad to absolutely catastrophic. And I just cannot even begin to wrap my head around the absolute mess that the Abbott family is in right now. I mean, we all knew that Diane Jenkins Abbott and Jack Abbott were heading for a disaster. We knew it. You guys knew it. I knew it. The fans on social media have been screaming about it for weeks. But I don't think any of us actually predicted that it would turn into a literal bloody crime scene and a massive citywide manhunt. Let's be real for a second. The writers have been pushing this storyline to the absolute limit. And just when you think they can't possibly make things worse for Jack and Diane, they go and flip the entire script on us. So let's just recap the sheer horror of what went down. Kyle Abbott and Diane finally managed to escape from that creepy Dr. Lawrence Markham's house. Diane uses her brain. She crushes up those sedatives. She drugs the weirdo doctor's appetizers, and they make a run for it. They get back to the Abbott mansion, probably thinking they are safe, probably thinking they can finally breathe. But no. They walk in and find Jack Abbott bleeding out on the living room floor. Patty Williams actually stabbed him. After Jack completely outsmarted her and kicked her out, she snuck back in with a knife and stabbed him. And just imagine the trauma of that moment. Kyle and Diane finding the patriarch of the family dying in a pool of his own blood. It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. They rush him to Genoa City Memorial Hospital, and it's a total race against time. The paramedics are swarming, the doctors are shouting, and Jack is rushed into emergency surgery. The prognosis is grim, like really grim. The doctors literally tell the family that he might not make it. And you can just feel the sheer panic radiating off of Kyle and Diane. They were so close to a happy ending, so close to being a family again, and now Jack is fighting for his life on an operating table. But wait, because if you thought that was the climax of the drama, you are so wrong. Because the Genoa City Police Department gets involved, and that is when everything goes completely off the rails. While Jack is in surgery, the police start investigating the stabbing and the kidnapping. And who do you think walks into the police station? Dr. Lawrence Markham. Yes, the creepy, manipulative, fake therapist doctor who was holding Diane hostage. He wakes up from his sedative nap, realizes his captives are gone, and he actually has the absolute audacity to go to the cops first. And he doesn't just go to the cops. He spins the most insane, ridiculous, gaslighting lie I have ever heard. Markham actually tells the police that Diane Jenkins drugged him and kidnapped him. What were they thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well? Markham flips the entire narrative. He claims that Diane is the unstable one, that she had a psychotic break, that she drugged his food, and that she held him against his will. He paints himself as the victim. He turns Diane, the actual victim who was locked in his weird fortress of a house, into a dangerous criminal. And the absolute worst part, the cops believe him. The GCPD actually buys this garbage story. And honestly, maybe I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, look at Diane's history. The cops are looking at her file, and what do they see? They see a woman who faked her own brutal murder in a Genoa City park back in 2011. They see a woman who teamed up with Deacon Sharp, used a literal corpse from a morgue, framed Nikki Newman for murder, and let her own son Kyle mourn her for over a decade. When you have a rap sheet like that, the police aren't exactly going to give you the benefit of the doubt. So when a respectable doctor comes in and says Diane drugged him, the cops immediately put out an APB. Diane Jenkins Abbott goes from being a traumatized kidnapping victim to a wanted fugitive in the blink of an eye. So now Diane is on the run. Again, it is like history repeating itself, but this time it is so much messier. The police are swarming the hospital. They are swarming the Abbott mansion, looking for her. And what does Kyle do? Oh, Kyle. Kyle, Kyle, Kyle. He makes the absolute worst, most reckless decision he could possibly make. Instead of telling his mother to get a lawyer, instead of calling Michael Baldwin or Christine or literally anyone with a law degree, Kyle decides to hide her. Kyle takes Diane and hides her at a secret location. He smuggles her away from the hospital and the police, completely going rogue. And I get it. I really do. He just got his mother back a couple of years ago. He just rescued her from a hostage situation. He is terrified of losing her again, especially with his dad currently fighting for his life in a hospital bed. But by hiding a wanted fugitive, Kyle is crossing a massive legal line. He is becoming an accessory to a crime. He is aiding and abetting a fugitive. He is throwing himself right into the legal fire. And for what? Honestly, I have to ask, what is going through Kyle's head? He has Harrison to think about. He has his son to protect. If Kyle gets arrested for hiding Diane, who is going to take care of Harrison? Summer is already furious with everyone. Jack is in a coma, and Diane is on the run. Kyle is risking his own freedom, his own future, just to protect his mother from a crime she didn't even commit. But the law doesn't care about intentions. The law only cares about actions, and Kyle's actions are highly, highly illegal. But maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe I would do the same thing if my mother was being framed by a psychopath. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. It is a desperate move by a desperate son. And the pressure is just mounting. The media in Genoa City is having an absolute field day with this. It is a total media circus. The headlines are probably screaming, Diane Jenkins goes rogue again and Abbott patriarch stabbed in mansion. The public pressure is immense. The citizens of Genoa City already hated Diane. They never forgave her for the fake death. They never liked her marrying Jack. And now this? The court of public opinion has already convicted her. They think she stabbed Jack and then drugged a doctor to make her escape. The narrative is completely twisted. And Kyle and Diane are trapped in this secret hideout, watching the news, completely helpless. They are stuck in this terrible, terrible limbo. They can't stay hidden forever. The GCPD is going to find them eventually. Chancellor or whoever is running the investigation right now is going to track Kyle's phone or check his credit cards or follow his car. It is only a matter of time. And every single hour that Kyle keeps Diane hidden, the legal scandal gets worse. The charges get heavier. The Abbott family name is being dragged through the mud. And the company, Jabot, is probably taking a massive hit on the stock market. I mean, the co-CEO is hiding a fugitive while the CEO is in surgery. It is a corporate nightmare. But then, finally, a tiny sliver of hope. Jack wakes up. Jack survives the surgery. He is weak. He is in pain. He is probably heavily medicated, but he is alive. And as he starts to recover, the police obviously want to talk to him. They want to know what happened. And Jack, being the fiercely loyal man that he is, immediately starts fighting back against this insane narrative. Jack knows that Patty Williams stabbed him. He saw her face. He knows she was the one with the knife. And more importantly, Jack knows Diane. He knows she didn't just randomly drug and kidnap Dr. Markham for fun. Jack starts doubting Markham's entire story from his hospital bed. he realizes that Markham is covering his own tracks. Markham is trying to get ahead of the story so he doesn't go to prison for holding Diane hostage. Jack sees right through it. And even though he is literally recovering from a near fatal stab wound, Jack becomes absolutely determined to clear Diane's name. He loves her. Despite all the drama, despite Patty, despite everything, Jack loves Diane. And he is not going to let some fake doctor ruin her life and send her to prison. So now we have this incredibly tense, high-stakes situation. Jack is trying to play detective from a hospital bed, demanding his lawyers rip Markham's story to shreds. Kyle is sweating bullets in some secret location, jumping at every siren he hears, terrified that the cops are going to bust the door down and arrest them both. Diane is pacing the floor, crying, terrified for Jack's life and terrified for her own freedom. She knows that if she gets arrested, no jury in Genoa City is going to acquit her. Her past is just too dark. Her history of manipulation is just too well documented. And the rest of the Abbott family is just in absolute chaos. Tracy is probably crying her eyes out, trying to hold everyone together. Billy is probably pacing around, furious at the entire situation, maybe even blaming Diane for bringing this chaos into their lives. Ashley, wherever she is probably rolling her eyes and saying, "I told you so." The family trust is being tested like never before. Everyone is dealing with the fallout of these massive, life-altering decisions. Will Diane run? Will she actually flee Genoa City to save herself, leaving Jack behind? Or will she face the music? Will she walk into that police station, head held high, and fight Markham's lies in court? And what about Kyle? Is he going to end up in handcuffs? I honestly can't see how Kyle gets out of this without at least an obstruction of justice charge. He is actively thwarting a police investigation. The writers have painted them into such a tight corner, and I am just sitting here typing furiously, trying to figure out how they are going to write their way out of it. It is just so messy. It is so clunky and chaotic and emotional. You have a stabbing, a hostage situation, a fake kidnapping accusation, a